I'm so excited, I can barely contain myself. Let's get into the video as quickly as possible. Holy crap, holy crap, holy crap. Okay, I figured out a way to get the first access to the Shadowkin faction crypt. I'm very excited to bring this to you. World's first Shadowkin faction crypt gameplay. And here's how we did it. In the referral program tab, there is a recall quest to open all faction crypts. So that's right. So that's exactly what we did. Let's come over here to Faction Wars. Every single faction crypt open. How cool does that look? Why did they just not do this for everyone right now? Why did they not just do this for everyone to celebrate the Shadowkin faction crypt? But I was able to do this. I was able to bring this to you. World's first Shadowkin faction crypt gameplay. So when you come over to the Shadowkin, you're just going to take whatever random Shadowkin that you have built and throw them in here, okay? This is not going to be difficult for these first stages. I'm pretty sure Ninja can solo it, okay? But I don't want to waste the keys. I want to get as far as we can get with these keys so you can see all of this information, okay? So, what did I do? Okay, I have Boranguri built to solo Bommel. This is my original account, the OG MtgJedi. I have Sachi at 40 with some random gear. I have Noble at 50 with some random gear. I have this dude that I was leveling up to test out, Marauder. And so I threw some gear on him. And then Ninja and Boranguri I had built legitimately, okay? Now, do I have some other legendaries for this faction that will make it easier? Yes. Am I gonna beat this faction on this account? Maybe, because I definitely have the champions leveled up. So if that is something that you'd be interested in, I'm sure that I could beat this quickly and bring this out to you. So maybe I will do that and then give you some options for level 21. As for right now, let's jump into it. And I think that this is just going to be a breeze at first. And then we will talk about some other options for good Shadowkin champions. I have a full breakdown on the Shadowkin faction for Faction Wars in my Faction War playlist. It's very thorough. We go to the DDRCH, damage, debuff, DDR, damage, debuff, healing, revive, and, what's the other one? There's one other I cannot even believe as we breeze through level 1. Lens? CC. Oh, that's what it is. Crowd control. I was like, I know that there's another obvious one, but I have a complete breakdown of every faction, and you can see Ninja just doing his thing. And there's, who is that? Sachi? I mean, you can see, like, this is, like, stage 1 and 2. Like, you don't need any crazy champions. You could run a bunch of level 40s in here and beat this content, right? So, you're not going to run into anything difficult here at the beginning of this faction crypt. So, we'll just go through this quickly, but it's nice to have confirmation that it is the same as every other faction crypt, right? Noble there, taking out a couple guys. There was, some curiosity about whether they would make this a whole nother level of difficulty. But at the moment, it seems like they've just matched the normal faction crypt levels, which is exactly what they should have done. But because that's true, you can just walk right through here with the champions you already have built on your account. And of course I will show you the gear and stats of these champions. Most of them should be accessible. Maybe Boranguri's gear is a little pretty end game because I built him to solo Bommel on the hard Doom Tower, level 50 if I recall, but that's been a while now. Okay, we are running out of keys here, and then we'll go lose some fights real quick in 3v3 so that we can get some additional keys. Obviously, I can't do that before the video because I have not spent any keys. Here we go. So, up to stage 5 is identical to every other faction crypt, okay? No differences. And we did a recall quest. Awesome. Pros of switching accounts is we got the ability to bring you content like this that I wouldn't normally get to bring you, okay? So make sure in your faction war team you try to have a healer, you try to have a damage dealer, some type of crowd control, okay? All of these different things are going to be helpful for your team. I would like to see the first boss. Like, can we just breeze through the first boss as well just because we have Ninja on our team? And for those of you who don't have Ninja on your team, man, I feel bad for you. But you can just slot in, you know, whatever epics or even rares. Like, you should be able to get up to level 7 with level 30 champions. Even if you don't have, you know, any epics or legendaries just yet. Yep, this seems like... Oh, did you know Noble has the snake animations? I did not know that. Alright, let's keep going. Okay, so we are lacking keys. We are lacking keys. So, with your first keys, you should be able to beat all the way through level 7. No problems. No problems. Okay, and then let's take a look at the rewards here from 820 to 840 as well. And if we go down here, we can actually see all of the rewards that we're going to be getting. 820 to 840. And then 845 to 875. So the rewards that you're going to be getting for beating this faction crypt include energy, charms, a void shard, silver, an epic book, another void shard, a 4-star chicken, silver, a Lego book, and a 5-star chicken. So no sacred shard in there is kind of a beating. For every other faction, you know, it kind of seemed like there were sacred shards mixed in there. I don't know. That seems kind of like a beating. It just followed this same progression. So, man, that's kind of rough that we are not getting the sacred shard. No, no sacred shard for Shadowkin Faction Wars. I don't even really know how to feel about that, but we need to just double check our quests. Advanced, fight and tag 5 times. So I will just come in here, start on auto, and we will just give this dude some nice points. Quit series. And that way we don't have to edit it. Yeah, we'll drop down. Who cares? I don't play on this account, so that's okay. It does not matter what tier we're in. If I decide to play on this account, we'll just fight back up. So we'll get some more faction war keys, and then we'll take a look at some of the actual stages in the mid-range that I think that people may or may not get stuck on. I'm wondering how far we can get up, into the double digits at least. So what I would love for you to tell me is, what is your first Shadowkin Faction War team going to be? What are you planning on using when the crypt opens for everyone in 5 days? Let me know that in the comments below, and we will start the discussion of, working on teams and strategies, etc. Okay? If you take a look at this first team here, this is actually a very similar strategy to what I'm using on my current account, my new account. With Valkyrie and Skullcrown is very similar to Valkyrie and Leorius. So here we go with our keys. Are we gonna waste all those? Minus 78 keys? Yes, we are. Just for you guys. Just for you guys. This is a sick pack, by the way. I don't know. If you get this Warrior Circle pack, in my opinion, that's the best one. Alright, so let's hop back in. We are going to come back over here to Shadowkin. And now we should be... so how many keys are we going to get here? We have 7. So we can definitely do a couple more stages. Alright, so let's come back in here. We're still fighting rares, so we have not gotten to any of the harder stages yet. But once you get to like the stages that are double digits, that's where you should run into some problems. But if you have beaten some of the factions, like if you have, stage 16 completed, it's going to be the same power level as any other faction, okay? So there's no need to worry about about like a higher power level, about like, crazy endgame teams. Like you're going to build the same type of teams as you would for any other faction, okay? Let's go in here. We got some epics in this, but I still don't expect any issues here. Once we get up into the higher levels, then we'll have a breakdown on how you need to beat those levels. I'm 100% sure I will cover that on the channel here. People call me the Yoda of Faction Wars. So if you have Faction War questions, ask them in the comments, join the Discord, watch the Faction Wars series. I have 2 different ones on the channel now. And how many more keys do we have? Do we have enough to do level 10? Yes, we do. Okay, so actually level 10 can be challenging for some people. That is one of the ones that, you're starting to get some more difficult champions. If you don't have a real team like this, I would consider to be a real team. I don't know if this team can clear the faction. We don't know who the boss is yet. But if this team can clear the faction, like this, we have 40s, 50s, and 60s, right? So that's starting to be a real team. You know that you're really starting to have a real team once you have at least 160, okay? And you do need 60s to beat your factions, okay? It is very, very difficult to beat a faction if you don't have a level 60 champion. At least one. And the more level 60s you have, the better it's going to be. So there you go. We beat all the way up to stage 10 with our first keys. And so that's what you should be able to do as well as soon as the faction crypt opens. When it actually opens in 5 days, then I'll come up here and I'll see if I can beat the stage 14 boss. Okay? But for now, let's take a look and collect our rewards. Get to the second track. Maybe we'll open that void shard. We got both void shards, okay. And as you can see, no sacred shard. Man, Plarium, stingy. Very stingy of you, my guys. It's going to be 2x voids next weekend. Normally, I would say save your voids. But, I'll open a couple shards for you. We'll see if we get lucky. We'll probably just get a couple rares. But, we'll open them anyway, just for you guys in the video here. Alright, 2 rares, no worries. Did not get lucky, that's okay. Let's take a look at the gear on the champions. Ninja is in a speed set and a perception set and then a broken set. His total stats are pretty mid-game, late-game accessible in my opinion. Maybe the accuracy is a little high, okay, because my Great Hall is maxed for accuracy on this account. But the rest of the stats are very achievable. You only need 220 accuracy. So if you have lower, that's totally fine as well. He does have masteries, typical clan boss masteries. Burenguri, very similar masteries. But his gear is pretty end game. You know what I mean? I'm in regen and immortal. We have 66,000 health, 2,600 defense, some speed, some accuracy. Okay, like so, like I get that this might not be, but you don't need this type of a build. As you can see with Marauder here, he's just in super random gear, okay? He does have a lot of health, but his base health is high. So, like, I just put HP percent gloves, and HP percent chest, and a life set on him. I do a maxed out ring, which helps as well, but and the faction guardians as well. But his base health is actually very high, 22, almost 22,000. Noble is in a pile of random gear. He's not even fully ascended to level 5. Okay, but here is his total stats. I built him defensively so that he would just survive with a little bit of accuracy. He's just a random champion to throw in there for you guys. Sachi, I think, is a great option. She has an AoE A1, so you can put her in a stun set like this for some crowd control. But nothing special on the gear here, guys. Nothing special. Let's take a brief look at the Shadowkin faction and see who I would recommend. Jintoro could be a good damage dealer. Lady Kimmy is a good speed booster. She also can remove buffs. Ninja is obviously insane. Yoshi, I would only use if you already have him built. Otherwise, I don't think he's great. But he can do some fears, I believe. Noble, I don't think there's anybody who's going to mess with the turn meter. So, I mean, you saw me use him at 50. Genzen is S tier for this faction. He's the only decreased defense champion. Kyoku would be great. Gamaran's the only real reviver. Rio's the best healer in the faction. As far as the epics go, Taragi, Hotatsu, Sachi, Burenguri, Jurojin, Masamoto, Oboro, and Genbo are all usable. I would skip these attack-based champions like Chani, Umitagi. I would skip Chonru and Gori. I mean, Gori is a maybe because he has some freezes, but they're not consistent. And Taya you get from the Doom Tower, but it takes forever to get her. So I don't know if I would invest in any of those attack-based champions. And then the rares, I actually think that Assassin, Bloodmask, Odachi, Marauder, and maybe one or two of the other ones are usable, okay? Even Conscript has some decent multipliers, believe it or not, but he's an attack-based champion. So the rares are definitely usable. I would like to point out Adachi because he has block debuffs, increased defense, and then he also has a shield. So I think that he's a very usable rare as well. If you want the full breakdown on this faction, I will link my Faction Wars playlist at the end of this video so that you can go see the full breakdown of every champion, who you should use, what a good team looks like. But for now, you got to see today the world's first gameplay in the Shadowkin faction crypt. I'm MtgJedi. If you're not subscribed to the channel, just click the button. Join the Jedi Academy today for free, and you will have access to, lots of other videos coming at you. Daily content here for Raid Shadow Legends. Leave me a like, leave me a comment. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day, and good luck in your Shadowkin faction war. We'll see you in the next one.